Hi, my name is Linda. I am new to FlossTube. This will be number one for me. Not really even sure what I want to call myself yet. Um, if I didn't say it, my name is Linda. I live in Southeast Wisconsin, just north of Illinois. I've been cross-stitching for about 35 years now. When I started back in the 80s, there really wasn't a lot of cross stitch per se. There was brick and mortars, but the brick and mortars compared to the brick and mortars today, they're few and far between today. But back in those days, they had just enough to keep them afloat. Basically, cross stitch and maybe some quilting. There wasn't a lot of selection as far as fabrics go. I started out on Ada. A good friend of mine had showed me her version of cross stitch. And again, there's no right and wrong. If it feels good for you, you do it your way. I started out her way. 3 strands, 4 strands, I think it was, on 14 count. It was a little crazy. I really thought I was doing a beautiful job. But when I look back at it now, I go, wow, kindergartner could have done better. But, you got to start somewhere, and that's where I started. So over the years, I've evolved. I've started out doing the 14 count Ada, and then maybe changed the color up and did 14 count blue, red. Then I might have went to 16, might have went to 18. Oh, I did a 20 once, and I thought this is great. Then I kind of graduated to a different version of Ada, maybe a different color, a fancier Ada. And it took me a while to say, hey, I'm gonna try 28 count. It looks so much better because you can't see the holes. But it took me a while. I bounced back and forth. But I don't have a lot of those first starts that I ever did. They just weren't my style anymore. I got rid of them. I passed down the patterns to, Goodwill, wherever my EGA had taken them. There is a stitch in the back here on the wall. That is from the cross-eyed cricket. I don't know if you can see it. It's up there. It's an alphabet. Maybe another time I will take it off the wall and show you. I did that basically on a car ride when we were going to and from Florida, deciding if we were going to move down there. We had made several trips, and that was kind of my project I worked on. I had a 2-year-old in the back seat with me, and we just kind of stitched away while Dad drove. That was a big start for me. I love that pattern, and it brings back so many memories when I look at it. I did a lot of bears, hearts, ducks with little blue bows. It was the trend back in the 80s. So there was a piece of fabric that I really fell in love with as I started cross-stitching and finding stores that would carry it. It was called Heatherfield. You can't find it anymore, and if you do, I'm not really too, I don't think I would ever cross stitch on it again. It was one of my very first. It is real soft. This is kind of a picture of one of them. It has kind of like a variegated little dots in it. This is another piece. I believe these are 14 count on here. I do have, oh, where did I put it? had another piece. Of course, I had a piece of the red. It almost feels like wool. If you know, like a real thick wool sweater. Sorry about that. One of my favorites. I did a couple of stitches on it. They're hanging on my wall, but I didn't want to cover any of that today. I just wanted to kind of show you some of the things that I'm interested in as a stitcher, and so you can kind of see and how our sessions kind of will go. So I have a Lizzie Kate. Lizzie Kate was real popular back in the 80s, and she's not in print anymore, or she's not printing anymore, but I think you can still get prints of her. This is one that I did. I don't know if you can see all of it. This, I'll kind of pan up a little bit. This is a Halloween one. The fabric on this, I was so happy with. It's kind of a purple, but then it has over here, it's kind of splash of like lime green. It just is perfect for this pattern. And this pattern was done on a 28. I don't know. I'm not good at that, and I should be, but I'm not good about putting what the pattern is. I just know it was a Lizzie Kate. And I don't know what the name of the fabric was either, but yeah, I should be better at that. Oh, it's terrible. Let's see. I'm really into Little House. I love Little House needlework. Cottage, I think it's the daughter, Cottage needlework. And Little House is the mom. I think that's how it goes. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I like more of the primitive dark colors. This is one called Two Red Houses. I don't know if you can see. I'll hold it up there so you can see it for a while. It's called Two Red Houses. I don't think I used the call for red that was in here. And I do a lot of changing. I do a lot of changing colors, and sometimes I change colors and don't write them. And then the next color I pull thinking it is that color, and I get a different color. I wish I could be better, but it is for fun. I don't do this for payment or anything like that. It just goes on my wall. I gift them to people if, they seem to be an enthusiast for, the design. So that was the Little Red House, the Little Red Houses by Little House Needlework. This is Two Blue Houses, also by Little House. And I don't know, again, if I used the right threads. I don't think I did, because I'm looking at the blue houses and they're both different. So again, if you can see, the sides of the house are in different colors. So I think I just kind of pulled from stash and kind of thought, oh, this is the color of my house now. Let's make it look like that. So it was just, I love houses. I have got a lot of cross stitches on the walls that have houses. There's a house behind me here. That was my mom doing some oil painting. She really loved to do that. So, and that's just only one painting that I ever got from her. So I just keep it on the wall because it's kind of fallish, and it just brings me into the mood. Anyways, let's see here. I did this one. This is a Little House. And again, I like to do sheep. When I do sheep, I normally will take those sheep, and instead of cross stitch them, I'll do French knots throughout the whole thing. I'll bring it up real close so you can kind of see. I believe I used like a grit, like Weeks Dye grit, because it had a kind of a yellowish tint to it. And sheep are not perfectly white, but and I did use kind of a glittery, if you can see on that one, this one over here was like a whispery, like almost like something you would use for a beard on a Santa. It's kind of got a little glitter in it. And I just thought I'd change it up. I had it and I used it. Like I said, I love sheep. And I'm not sure again what this color was that I got, but a lot of times it's scraps that I buy. Let's see. I had this little, I think this was a little Lizzie Kate Halloween. It was like no bigger than the little cardstock that it came on. And, you know, it wouldn't take much for just putting this in a little frame. But that, again, wouldn't take much. I procrastinate on that stuff. I did, let's see. I have this little cardinal. Again, I don't know. I think this is Bent Creek. I'm pretty sure it's Bent Creek. Oh, just so cute. And I want to just put them just in a little square piece of wood and just stick it on a shelf. It doesn't even have to have a backing. I can go without, as long as I can get it up. I have a Lizzie Kate that I started and I got as far as I could because I need to buy the 2 more patterns and I never could find them. And I know 1, 2, 3 Stitch probably would have them, or ABC Therapy would have them. But this one is, and I'm going to pan this one up because it's pretty long. So it starts out, you can do them singly, or you can do them as a wall hanging. And I got as far as that blue I ran out, and that is oh, I love that blue. That blue is called Blue Jeans. And, oh, I just love the way it variegates. And it looks just like a pair of old blue jeans that you wear. I have one that I said, you know what, Linda, you need to do this. You need to get this thing up. You spent so much time on it. Okay, so it is a monstrosity. Let me just say. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to show you it the right way. It is big. It is the flag with the states in the order that they became states. I started with a certain color, then I ended up changing. As you can see, there's darker, there's lighter. I ended up just I just grabbed something that was variegated that looked, because I ran out and then I couldn't get any more. I ran out of motivation towards the end. At the very bottom, as you can see, there was supposed to be more stuff put on between Alaska and Hawaii, but I just ended up filling it in with some kind of a run of color just to get it done. I wanted to get it up on a wall, but obviously 4th of July is gone and it is laying in here still. So what I'm working on right now is I have a hodgepodge of things going on. I normally used to be monogamous. I guess that's the word for it, where I would take one and I wouldn't work on anything else until I finished it. And then I started watching YouTubers and y'all enabled me. You know who you are. Virginia Stitcher. She enabled me. She has got so many whips, and I don't think I could ever do that many, but some of them that I started, let's see, right now I'm working on a primrose. I I don't have any of them in here with me in my craft room right at this moment. I'm going to be starting a new whip, which is hands-on design. She's got a cross-stitch Halloween, not even, it's called a costume party. And it starts on September 1st. If you just go on to hands-on design, and just look at what she has. And they're DMC floss, so you wouldn't have to, go out and go to a brick and mortar to get, the fancy floss or worry about if it's going to get here on time. DMC floss. Fabric, she does recommend a certain fabric. However, I've got two that I'm debating on, and I haven't decided yet. I kind of wanted to see what the first pattern release was, and I don't think it's going to be too much, because it's like a release every day for like 3 days is what I'm understanding, and I can't wait to start that. However, I got to work on Thursday, so I won't be part of the group that starts it. I'll probably be the weekend catch up on that. But that's what the plans are for the rest of this week. I'm trying to enjoy the fall coming in. Today is August 29th. I think I had said that, or you can see it in the back there. I have it on my little calendar. I'm fall y'all is where I am, and I just want to thank you for watching. Subscribe, like. I just want, like I said, want to just get out there and just talk about things, and maybe next time I'll have a different format going on. Like, this is my first time, and please don't be cruel. I just learning. And again, thanks for watching. You have a stitchful day. Thanks.